Hi, ladies and dudes. This is Rebecca Lynn Barkley, aka Boobop 1970. This is my review for a day. And today's review, ladies and dudes, well, my friends, it's that time again for another top 10 list that nobody has never done before. And this top 10 list is all about is, for the very first time in my whole entire life, I'm gonna do a different type of list that involves Pokemon. And this and for this list, I'm just gonna tell you about where my most favorite Pokemon that came from Ash's group. You know, from Kanto all the way from the Kalos region. And to tell you the truth is, for what I see in one of the websites, for what Ash had so far is he only got 37 Pokemon in total. Yeah, that's a lot of good There's so many good Pokemon to choose from, but I guess everybody wants to know is which one of Ash's Pokemon is the all-time best? Well, it doesn't matter if it's from my own opinion or your own opinion. So for today's top 10 list I want to do is my top 10 best Pokemon that came from Ash's group. And like I said, there's a whole lot of good Pokemon to choose from the Kanto region to the Kalos region. And, yeah, yesterday I decided to write down or maybe Friday. I forgot what it was. I think it's on Friday. I decided to write down something on my notebook paper and, try to think about which one of these Pokemon are my all-time favorites. So, yeah, I'm gonna do the best I can for it, since I always had trouble making up a sentence or two. But I'll do the best I can for this list. So anyway, without further ado, ladies and dudes, let's head on to my top 10 best Pokemon that came from Ash's group. And to tell you the truth is, ladies and dudes, before I can tell you about where my most favorite Pokemon of all time, let me tell you about my honorable mentions and my dishonorable mentions of which Pokemon that did not make it to the list, or which Pokemon that don't deserve to be in this list at all. Okay, for my honorable mentions, for some Pokemon that Ash already let go, or some of them at Professor Oak's place, well, here's my honorable mentions. Okay, we got Butterfree, the butterfly Pokemon, Snorlax, the big Pokemon, and Lapras, the sweetheart, Torkoal, that fire turtle Pokemon. We got Corphish, Totodile, Squirtle, and Tepig. And most of all, Gliscor! I love Gliscor. So those Pokemon deserve to be in my honorable mentions. And sadly, for my dishonorable mentions, I only got 2 Pokemon. The first dishonorable mention, I hate to say everybody, and don't go boo on me! My first dishonorable mention has to go to Pikachu, because Pikachu is one of the most overrated Pokemon of all time, and Ash used that Pokemon way too much in all the series. So I hate to say it, ladies and dudes, but Pikachu deserves to be one of the dishonorable mentions. And sadly, another Pokemon deserves to be a dishonorable mention goes to Oshawott. I'm afraid Oshawott became one of the most weakest water Pokemon of all time, and Ash needs to work on it if it'll ever evolve to whatever stage it'll be in the main future, I guess. So yeah, those 2 Pokemon deserve to be in my dishonorable mentions. As for the rest of the Pokemon I already mentioned, they deserve to be honorable mentions. And now let's get on to my list. Coming at number 10 goes to Mug. Mug. A really cool looking sludge Pokemon who loves to hug on everybody. Yeah, a Pokemon who likes to pounce. But the reason why this poor Pokemon is pretty darn low on my list is I wish Ash should just use this Pokemon a little bit more instead of, hanging around with Professor Oak too many times. But Mug is a really cool Pokemon. Definitely one of the best Pokemon I ever seen that came from the first season, if you know what I mean. Number 9 goes to Snorunt, a very funny looking ice type Pokemon who likes to do jokes and try to be funny and try to be a good comedy relief from the Hoenn region. I will never forget that best moment where Snorunt wants to try to help Roltz. I think that's its name. Yeah, try to help Roltz out and try to help out Max to take that cute little thing to the Pokemon Center as quick as they can. I really love that episode. That was a cool episode. I love Snorunt. Snorunt is a really cool Pokemon that has a cute little accent. It's really darn funny, and I can't believe it evolved into some type of Pokemon that looks like a soccer ball. If you know what I mean. So Snorunt deserves to be at number 9. Number 8 goes to Scraggy. A funny looking but a very cool type of lizard Pokemon who's trying to straight up its pants. Yeah, that was a really cool, funny Pokemon. And that came from the Unova region? I think that's right. Yeah, Scraggy's a really cool Pokemon. But I wish that Pokemon should evolve sooner. But maybe we'll wait and see what happens. Okay, coming at number 7 is the latest Pokemon that Ash already got, but this Pokemon is going to be free soon. Well, it's going to be released for the later on episodes of Pokemon X and Y. Is Goomy all the way to Goodra. I will say Goomy all the way to Goodra is definitely one of the most coolest Pokemon that Ash had so far. And this Pokemon had a really good, interesting storyline. I like a story where a Pokemon who is the most weakest Pokemon of all time, and this Pokemon has a goal to become stronger and become a peacemaker, for goodness sakes, and try to protect the Pokemon world for the wrath of these evil Pokemon who are trying to destroy a peaceful life or something like that. Yeah, Goomy had a pretty interesting storyline, but it's a pretty dark one. But I know its true goal is it wants to become stronger, become better than any other Pokemon out there around the world, I guess. But yeah, in the later on Pokemon series, Ash is going to let it go for some unknown reason. It's going to be sad. But yeah, it finally evolved to Goodra. It was definitely the most beautiful Pokemon I have ever seen, and definitely one of the most sweetest Pokemon I have ever seen in my life. So yeah, Goomy all the way to Goodra deserves to be at number 7. Coming at number 6 is Weavile. Yeah, the Pokemon that came from Unova. I really love this bug-type Pokemon that has so much fashion. And this is the only Pokemon I really do like where a Pokemon is wearing leafy clothes. If you look at its design very carefully, I think Weavile is wearing some type of capri pants, if you know what I mean. But I love this Pokemon. It has a really good fashion, it has a good personality, great attitude. It's a fun Pokemon to look at. I have nothing else to say, so Weavile deserves to be at number 6. Number 5 goes to Heracross, the best beetle-type Pokemon I have ever seen. This Pokemon rules. I love its horn in its head. I love its wings. I love its look and design. It's a really cool Pokemon. But the most biggest problem about Heracross is it's going after Bulbasaur's sap under its bolt or something like that. It's a pretty cool Pokemon that came from the Johto region. I have nothing else to say, so Heracross deserves to be at number 5. Number 4 goes to Hawlucha. Hawlucha, Hawlucha, Hawlucha. The only fighting type Pokemon that Ash has, but it's also an excellent flying type. A Pokemon who wants to become strong, powerful, and becoming a macho man. Yeah. Definitely one of Ash's best fighting Pokemon he got so far. Nothing else to say, but that Pokemon deserves to be at number 4. And now let's head on to my top 3 best Pokemon that Ash has from all the Pokemon that he has from Kanto to the Kalos region. So let's get this started. Coming at number 3 goes to Swellow. Out of all the flying Pokemon that Ash had from Pidgeotto, but all the way from Pidgeot, but I know he released that, and to that was, I forgot that Pokemon's name that came from the latest region, but I will say that Swellow is definitely my most favorite Pokemon of all time because Swellow has a really good design, it has a good look, it's very powerful and strong. And I forgot what type of Pokemon it is. You know, a bird type Pokemon. But it's strong and powerful. I have nothing else to say. But Swallow deserves to be at number 3. Coming at number 2 goes to Croaky all the way through to Krogadier. But coming soon, it will be a grown ninja. I will say, in my own opinion, out of all the starter Pokemon that Ash had so far, I will say that Croaky all the way to Krogadier is one of the best starter Pokemon of all time. I mean, this Pokemon had truly blew me away from start to in the middle part of the story, I guess. This Pokemon really did blew me away when I first saw it on episode 1. This Pokemon has an interesting storyline, it has a great personality, great attitude, and I think this Croaky is a way better starter Pokemon for Ash than Ash's Pikachu. Hands down. This Pokemon is so darn powerful. It's one of the best ninja Pokemon of all time, period. Check out this Pokemon to believe it. From Croaky all the way to Krogadier. And yeah, this Pokemon had truly blew me away, if you know what I mean. So that Pokemon deserves to be at number 2. And finally, my number 1 most favorite Pokemon that came from Ash's group. And these 2 best Pokemon had truly blew me away. My 2 favorite fire-type Pokemon. And these 2 fiery Pokemon are the strongest ones of all. One who's kind of like a dragon, and the other is a really cool Pokemon that came from the Sinnoh region. So for number 1 in a tiebreaker belongs to Charizard and Infernape. I love these 2 Pokemon to death. I don't care which one of them is the strongest. They are very strong in so many ways. They are truly high class. I mean, those 2 Pokemon had a very epic storylines. They have epic personalities, epic attitudes, great techniques. They're very powerful. There's so many ways. And like I said, I can't tell which one's my all-time favorite. Is it Charizard or Infernape? Charizard or Infernape? Oh man, these 2 Pokemon have truly blew me away. They are so darn awesome in so many ways. And they are both fire types. Yeah, I have nothing else to say. So Charizard or Infernape deserves to be my number 1 most favorite Pokemon of all time that came from Ash's group. Period. Alright, ladies and dudes, that is it. Those were my top 10 most favorite Pokemon that came from Ash's team. I hope you enjoyed this list. And tell me, ladies and dudes, what is your most favorite Pokemon that Ash had from all the regions that he's been through in the last 18 seasons, if I remember right, since this is the 18th season of Pokemon? Well, whichever they are, please leave a comment there and let me know. I know there are some Pikachu fans out there who will say, boo, how dare you did not you add Pikachu in your list, boo, go away, or something like that. So anyway, that's my top 10 list, and join me next time for my next top 10 list I'm going to do, as I go ahead and redo my list of my favorite Taken moments, and since Taken 3 is coming out on DVD and Blu-ray on April 21st, 2015. So be prepared for my latest list to come, and I'll see you all later. Sayonara!